Hello, my lovelies, and welcome back to Allotment of the Dead. So it's absolutely pitch black here now, so 6 o'clock ish at night. But I've come down with my Santa hat on, and I'm hoping to try and clear a little bit more of the polytunnels. The really cold weather now. It's gone down as -4 in the aubergine house. -2 in the new build, and I think it's going to be -2 in here as well. So my hopes of keeping any of those particular chili plants and things alive was just nothing. It was not a chance in hell. So I'm going to basically clear out those areas, and we're back at work, so I don't have a lot of time during the day, during the daylight hours. So I've come down with these really nice big bright lights. Hopefully I should be able to at least get something done while I'm here. I've got the kettle on. Where are we? I don't know if you see that. There we go. Oh, there he is. Nice little whistling kettle. So I'll be having a coffee in a minute. And I'll come down. I'll clear a bit more of the polytunnels. Let me just go and show you how I've set that up. Bear with. Okay, I've still got some little green lights kicking around. Right, let's find the polytunnels. It's a bit squidgy underfoot still. The ground is really sodden. I've got the classical music on. Right, so that's kind of my setup there. So I've got 3 floodlights set up. I've gonna basically chop all of the branches down of these chili plants, harvest anything if there is anything left on them. I don't think there is now, and then actually clear the ground underneath, do a bit of weeding and stuff, and then hopefully we'll get this kind of prepared, ready for the new season, even though it's dark. There's always something about coming down of an evening that you don't kind of, everything's quite quiet. You don't really get the people pestering you and that sort of thing. It's a really nice time to actually come down and just be at one with nature, even though this particular nature is probably a little bit dead in most places. Plenty to cut back. So the pelargonium, still plenty of green on it. These are like geraniums, and they just seem to hopefully live throughout this cold weather. Hopefully we'll see what happens. Right, let me set you up on a tripod, and then we'll start doing a bit of clearance. Right. Okay, as you can see, this cold weather has not really been conducive to keeping these plants alive. They've all pretty much now died back. Now, if I was to have a go at overwintering these, I'd have to cut them right back, get them all nicely potted up, covered. But I think a lot of these have gone past that stage where it's probably going to be something I'm going to be able to do, unfortunately. So what I'll be doing today is almost like a scorched earth kind of thing, where we're just going to clear the area. There's plenty of weeds in here as well. The clover seems to go mad in here. Also, you end up with kind of some of your perennial weeds like mare's tail and things like that do tend to kind of take hold, especially when in effect you've left the ground in here kind of cultivated and covered in one particular crop, which is basically what's happened here. I've tried to weed where I can, but almost invariably now towards the end of the season, where I've not been able to get down quite so often, we've ended up with quite a bit of these weeds. So the first thing to do is clear the plants out of the way, and we'll do this just simply by chopping them down into bits. Now these can go into the compost. They are quite woody though, so they do need cutting down quite quite a lot to make sure that they actually rot down properly. One way of doing that is you can actually kind of put them into black bags, just leave them in a corner of your plot somewhere, and then they'll nicely rot down, and then you can actually add them then to your compost. So these were the Sugar Rush. So this was the one that I thought the plant itself had blight. The thought is that blight is only transferred in kind of new growth. It doesn't particularly survive on dead plants. So I think these are pretty much safe to put into the compost. That being said, my compost bin is quite full now, and I think I probably need to do a little bit of maintenance on that just to try. Oh, my Santa hat's coming off. Try and kind of turn it over a bit. The other thing you'll notice probably on the ground here is that there's plenty of these little white plant labels, and what I'll do is I'll collect those all up, and hopefully we can take the old ink off. I've used a really good quality ink though, so it could be that I might have a little bit of difficulty with doing some of that, but we should give that a go. It's nice to kind of reuse things where we can. So these are the plants that unfortunately the ants kind of got quite early on in the season, so the root systems on them weren't so good, whereas this one, it's pretty good. Okay. So we'll clear the weeds as we go as well. Right. So I'll carry on and do this, and hopefully I can get back to you when the ground is cleared a little bit.
Beneath the starlit sky, our love's secret line, like leaves we soar so high. Beneath the moonlight, the soft touch your hand in mine gets me every time. Lost in the city lights, our love's electric ride. You make me feel alive. I know July is gone. You make me feel at home in the neon glow. As the leaves change color, I dive into you. When summer's fading, there's nothing to do but bask in the glory of the winter sun. Maybe this is the season of love.
Okay, one of the things I've noticed here is that some of the chilies have dropped fruit to the ground, seeds to the ground. So there is a good chance next year I might end up with some self-seeded chilies. Now, depending on how they grow, I might leave them, I might take them out. But I'm planning on growing another load of chilies in here next year. So once I've cleared the ground, I'm going to put a lot more nutrients back into the ground. So I've got chicken fertilizer, I've got manure, I've also got bat guano. So there's a variety of different things I can use to actually add nutrients back into the soil. The thing about it being in a polytunnel as well is that if you feed the soil during the winter, all of the worms and things that are in here is going to drag those nutrients down into the soil, because I'm not going to kind of dig in the manure will be laid on the top. They'll just basically take it down into the soil, and hopefully come the spring, a little bit of a dig over, probably another weed, because the thing about manure is it does bring its own seeds and weeds, unfortunately, to your system. And then hopefully we'll get this kind of in a way ship shape, so that come the spring we can plant just straight back into it again. Makes life a little bit easier. So I'm going to probably leave this video here. The thing about this is that it's not going to be a quick fix. As you can imagine, 309 plants going in, taking them all out again is going to be quite a task. So it's probably going to be 2, maybe 3 nights of a couple of hours each night, and then clearing the ground of all the weeds and everything as well. Getting the weeds out is going to be something I do with my kneeling pad, get down to the earth. Hopefully, again, with these lights, it should enable me to see everything that I need to see to actually be able to do that. Not great is in terms of, it's not the same as if I was to do this in daylight with the sun, but I should hopefully have no issues with it. So we're into the winter now, December. So we're going to be expecting this really, really cold weather to carry on a bit. So I'm going to use some of the area in this polytunnel to plant some mustards and some kale. Whatever I don't actually harvest at that point, I can actually probably dig that straight back into the soil. And then again, it'll add a little bit more nitrogen for the plants for the following season. The other thing I need to do is harvest the jicama, which have pretty much died back now. I'm not sure there's anything in them, but we'll have a look. And then also my Christmas potatoes, which the frost killed outright pretty much. It's not just a case of the frost nipping the tops and they were going to carry on being able to grow. It's pretty much killed the plants above ground. So whatever I've got in these pots now will be it. So what I'll do again is turf these pots out onto probably into a wheelbarrow to start with, get rid of all kind of bits and weeds and things, just see if there's anything in these pots I can take home for probably Christmas. We'll see if there is anything. I'm not counting on there being much in these, because they weren't growing for long before, unfortunately, that frost got them. There were some nice sturdy plants before the frost got them, but once that frost was there, bang, hit them. And unfortunately, it's not something they could withstand and actually come out the back of. So we'll see what we've got. So that's this evening's video. It's a bit of a clearance thing. So yeah, it's plenty to do this time of year, and unfortunately, time has been not my friend really. Got back to work, so any time I've got is going to be after work. And again, having these floodlights, they're supposed to last about 5 hours. We'll see what happens. I'm probably going to be down here for a couple of hours each night, but we'll see what happens. Right, so that's all from me for tonight. Don't lose heart this time of year. There are always plenty that you can plant now. Get some of your brassicas and stuff in, your kales, all those sort of things can go in the ground. Your mustards, I'm going to plant some mustards. I might plant the mustards straight in the ground here, and some spinach, and just see what grows. We've got access to water still. We've got the water butts and things like that, so we'll be okay. So we'll see you on the next video. So all the best, guys. Take care. Bye bye.